Greetings and welcome back to Hiveswap Friendsim. Previously, we had a nap and let someone else nap with us as well. Drunkenly, sure, but you know, it's fine. It's fine. But this time, we shall move on to volume 9 of Gaze Cool and Tempers Hot. Wait, this looks familiar. That one's familiar. We've seen her before. She's the artist, Ramel, I believe. But this one, I don't remember. Of Gaze is Cool. Well, let's find out what happens there. Of Gaze is Cool and Tempers Hot. Party has always been taken with the idea of purchasing a one-way train ticket to anywhere and boarding it without looking back. Or in your current case, stowing away without looking back. Details. The idea had always seemed so idyllic. No strings, no obligations. Just you and your journey, the wind in your hair, and the taste of freedom on your lips. I don't think we have hair, though. Well, I do, but the protagonist anyway. Your little daydream didn't exactly involve careening across a perilous extraterrestrial landscape, but then you've always liked to think of yourself as the kind of person who's open to new experiences. Not to mention new friends. In practice, though, this tastes less like freedom and more like noxious muck, which is what you're currently surrounded by. It's not unlike the slime that was in Skylar's Recupa Raccoon, except that slime was weirdly soothing, and this is prickly and burny and uncomfortable. You thought you were being smart by sneaking on board, jumping into some sort of cargo carriage. Oh, how wrong you've been. The trade-off for not being caught then, maimed, and or killed for your blood color is apparently this. You almost would have preferred the maiming. God knows you're used to taking a beating by now. Oh, wait, Amicia, that was her name. Anyway, but there's a question mark. Well, anyway, we'll first go with Azdaja Nellax. Alright, cool dude, eh? Of Gaze is Cool, huh? Cyber dude. Azdaja. Anyway, after what feels like way too long, the vehicle slows down and you take the opportunity to tumble out of your slime jail onto the dusty ground, picking yourself up and hurrying away from the station before you can get spotted. A little while later, you're standing at the beginning of a massive canyon and your awful train ride almost feels worth it. The canyon stretches on endlessly, miles of yawning chasms and winding ravines at your feet. It's not to make your mouth hang open in awe. After spending so much time in various grody parts of the city, the sight of such pristine natural beauty touches your heart. You feel somehow inspired, like you could belt out an aria or draw a masterpiece if you tried. But before you can begin exploring your hidden creative depths, you're distracted by noise coming from not too far away. You're not alone. You know what that means. A chance to get yourself more of that sweet, sweet friendship. After so many successful companionship ventures, you're thirsty for more. You pick up your jar and go investigate. The sounds lead you towards a trail along the side of the canyon, which in turn leads you down to a roomy platform not that much lower than where you started. There's a series of sharp outcrops jutting out of the plateau, and perched atop the highest one is a figure dramatically framed against the moonlight. At first you think he's peering moodily into the distance, but then you realize he's looking through some kind of contraption on his face. Oh, this kind of music. Alright. Recording coordinates. You look around. There doesn't seem to be anyone else here. So what you heard was this fellow muttering to himself, you guess? I see. He's so wrapped up in whatever it is that he's doing that he hasn't noticed you yet. This guy has got to be hankering after some company. Being all by his lonesome out here in the middle of nowhere. You're sure of it. Let's wave and say hello. We like saying hello. Sporting your most winning smile, you call out a greeting and give a jaunty wave. That gets his attention. Well, would you look at what the Purby's dragged in? Are you lost? That depends on your definition of lost. You prefer to think of whatever you're doing as taking the scenic route. Just like, indefinitely. Your new acquaintance and hopefully soon-to-be pal snorts, unimpressed. It would be better if you did not did that somewhere else. Better for me, I mean. Which is the most important issue currently at hand, let's face it. I still have preparations to make, and I'm sure I'm running out of time. You're kind of cramping my style here. Preparations? For the game, obviously. It's starting any minute now. You have no idea what he's talking about. Seriously? You don't know about dual strifers? Oh god, he's a Yu-Gi-Oh guy. Of course he is. Of course he is. Look at him. Of course he's Yu-Gi-Oh. Wow, you're more of an empty-headed pleb than I thought. That's not a very fair thing to say. Sure, you might have made a habit of running headfirst into stupidly dangerous situations, but there's no reason for him to assume. Your voice is drowned out by a cracking sound. Crackling even. He's levitating down from his perch toward you, sparks of energy stirring the sand up into a cloud. After meeting Tsarava and Kuprum, you've come to expect psionic powers from trolls with yellow blood by now, but it still kinda takes you aback. You stumble backwards, falling on your ass. The troll is unbothered by your spill, continuing to address you while you're sprawled on the ground. I'll explain. Dual Strifers pits Alternia's best and brightest against each other in a timed event designed to reveal the most skilled among the group. Which would be me, of course. That goes without saying. He tells you a bunch of other stuff about game mechanics that, to be honest, goes straight over your head. He's apparently not in enough of a rush that he can't stop what he's doing to outline his plans to you, some random passerby. In a fairly detailed manner at that. Yeah. He seems pleased to have an audience, actually. Wow. This friendship is barely even off the ground and you're already doing great. You get back on your feet and nod along sagely, pretending to understand all his rambling about strategy and whatnot. And then you notice a blinking light. It's coming from the sea green over his eye. Huh? Interesting. My scout can't retrieve any data on your species at all. He leans forward and looks at you. Really looks at you up. Up until this point he'd been paying more attention to his own voice and whatever readings he's been getting on his device, but now he's focused fully on you. It's starting to fluster you a little, actually. That is until his mouth twists into a smirk. You get a glimpse of a single jagged tooth. You know, it's technically impossible to join the teams of two. But now you're here. Is he saying what you think you might be saying? Excitedly you clarify whether he's asking you to join the game as his partner. Ha! Sure, I just love teaming up with clueless nerds like you. No. You'd be a nice element to surprise though. I could use you as a collateral resource. Fodder. A lackey. What do you say? That doesn't sound nearly as flattering. But it's an opportunity to help, and you've founded so many great friendships on doing whatever favors random strangers have wanted you to do for them already. Why stop now? Yeah. Yeah, protagonist is a friend slot. Oh dear. You'll be the best lackey. Yeah, we're a suck-up. We're terrible. The title might not be much, but that doesn't mean you can't excel at it. You tell him you accept his offer. Hahaha, excellent! By the way, I'm Azdaja Knelax. Fuck that word. But you must know that, have known that already. You're not sure why you would. Maybe he's some kind of a big shot? Come to think of it, the name does ring a bell. You've heard it before, Azdaja. Oh yes, someone did mention him. Was it the big lady? I forgot her name. There's so many characters. And I'm doing these days in between. When you were in the middle of infiltrating a bandit hideout with the mercenary, yeah, Cornel. Oh yeah, maybe I should read the end of the paragraph to get the answer I needed. But I remembered correctly, so that's nice. My memory isn't that shit. I just forgot her name, Cornel. You met my mate Spirit? You must have gotten on her good side, or you wouldn't be standing here talking to me. Because you'd be minced into ground finer than grub paste. He's grinning like he's really proud and fond about Connell being the sort of girl who'd make mincemeat out of someone as soon as to speak to them. If he wasn't talking about her literally murdering you, you might find this reaction endearing. Hang on, if he already had a partner, why isn't she here? Azdaja's expression sours abruptly. My partner isn't here because she didn't make our agreed upon rendezvous time. He says the word partner in an overdone, exasperated huff, as if he thinks she might be listening from behind a boulder somewhere, and he can somehow shame her into appearing. She's terrible at hiding though, so we would see her. You remember what Polypus said about mercenary duos often being quadranted pairs, i.e. romantically involved. Did his girlfriend stand him up? Yikes. Maybe it's better that you haven't been promoted to partner status if it means getting involved in another couple's spat. You've had quite enough of that already. You hope they aren't fighting. Azdaja glares at you. The exact nature of our quadrant is none of your business, frankly. Now, come on. We're wasting time. He steps off the edge of the plateau, descending in a crackle of energy and floating you into the canyon along with him. It's a terrifying ride, but the view it affords is pretty amazing. Soon, you reach the bottom. We should keep going. There's someone else in this valley. We'll get a drop on them if we move fast. He grins confidently, his coat flapping behind him. There isn't any wind down here, though. Is he flapping his own coat with his sigh for dramatic effect? Yes, because why the fuck wouldn't you do that? That's cool. Why the fuck wouldn't you do that? If you got psychic powers, you would make your coat bellow in the wind as well. Ha! First blood to Knelax. You blink. Tentatively, you repeat. Blood? Yes, blood. He says it the same way he enunciated the name of this competition earlier, like it should have been painfully obvious. Like I told you, our aim is to stake out our opposition. Swiftly and painfully. To win, we have to be the last team standing in this entire canyon. Weren't you listening when I explained earlier? Ah, goddammit. You'd been proceeding under the assumption that this was some kind of elaborate competitive LARP. Like, solve some puzzles, get out of the giant canyon before the other guy type of deal. Perhaps arm wrestle your competitors into submission if you run into them. But no, this game involves actual violence. Well, yeah, it's Alternia. You probably shouldn't be surprised. You've been on Alternia long enough now to discern that, boy, trolls sure do love killing. You made friends with plenty of trolls who have less bloodthirsty hobbies though. You ask him whether he's ever considered getting into excessive bodily force poetry, or streaming sick beats. Please, you're kidding, right? Now's no time for joking around. Don't tell me you're already getting frosty strut bods. I can't work with someone with such a flimsy sense of conviction. You reassure him that no, of course not, your strut pods are as toasty as all heck. But he is no longer paying attention to you. His scouter glints. There! He flashes past you before you can blink, riding the waves of his side to a collection of rocks sitting behind you. Target acquired! Nice try, I think you could outsmart me by laying in wait and launching an ambush. Cowardly move, and sloppy. Very sloppy. Now, prepare to get owned. Resistance is few. Oh fuck. Abruptly, Azdaja freezes. You hesitate, unsure as to what sort of threat you're dealing with here. But then a troll girl with a cerulean blue symbol on her shirt pops up from behind the rocks. Is someone we know? She giggles menacingly, making Azdaja turn towards you. His expression is blank while he looks terrified though. His nifty brain power is now under your competitor's control. Oh. To echo Azdaja's sentiment, oh fuck. You need to do something. Fast. You have the harebrained thought that maybe you can grab Azdaja and physically wrest him from her control. You launch yourself towards them in a mad dash, attempting to call out a chilling battle cry, but it comes out as more of a pathetically broken yell. Oof. The girl laughs again. Azdaja's eyes flash bright, brighter than you'd seen so far, almost blinding. Oh hell, those are straight up eye lasers, aren't they? And they're really powerful, holy shit. He met some strongholds, but this kind of power is something else. If Azdaja were a character in a video game, and you were to assign him a quantifiable number to measure his power, some kind of perhaps that number would be just under 9,000? Well, it'll be very high, it's all you're saying. Azdaja's lasers shoot at the point above you, scoring a deep gash in the rock and sending a rebel toppling downwards. You reach out, grabbing at Azdaja's coat. You have to get out of here. The girl doesn't stop you, merely leaping out of the way of the certain doom that's hurtling rapidly towards you. You think you see something out of the corner of your eye, some last-ditch hope at not getting squashed as flat as a grub cake. You race towards it. Your first thought when you next open your eyes is that death has finally come to tenderly cradle you in sweet, loving embrace. But you quickly realize that you're in a cave, not the afterlife, and that the reason you can even say anything right now is because the area around you is brightened by a light coming from Azdaja's scouter. Through sheer dumb luck, you must run towards the single safe spot in the entire ravine. This hole in the ground. It's as if this hole was sitting here, carved out of the rock, waiting to be your escape route. You might even say this hole was made for you. Fuck! You wince, cowering your ears. Could you keep it down, maybe? Your nerves are a little shot from almost dying for the umpteenth time this week. No, I will not keep it down! Curses! I can't believe this! Who does that blue blood think she is? Does she realize who she just messed with? Wow, he looks really mad. Instinctively, you reach out to execute that slow face pat that trolls seem to find so soothing, but he slaps your hand away. What do you think you're doing? I already told you I have a morale. You stammer out an apology. It just seemed like the right thing to do. Plus, you thought Conan was his mate spirit. He seems to realize what he just said. A hint of yellow touches his cheeks. You just barely visible in the light. That's what I said. I already have a mate spirit. You're pretty sure you heard him right the first time, and you're also pretty sure those two are different sorts of relationships. But you let the subject drop. No need to rile up your new friend more than he already is. Your shushbap might have been rejected, but the attempt seems to snap him out of whatever pissed off funk he's gotten himself into. Let's get out of here. He follows the path to the cave. Can't he just blast you out? Don't be stupid. If I did that, it would cause a cave-in. Are you that eager to get crushed? Good point. You're acting just like Connell. So ready to rush in without a game plan? If he means this is an insult, its effect is kind of lost. He sounds more wistful than irritated. You walk in silence for a while. As you make your way further into the cave, you realize that the walls aren't blank like you previously thought, but covered in complicated carvings. Cave troll art, you wonder? I know what you're thinking. That life as a prince among trolls must be an enviable one. You snap to attention. Yes, of course. You were definitely thinking about him and his life story just then. I don't expect someone like you to understand. You're obviously a completely average person who will live out their life in perfectly moderate mediocrity. But not me. You don't know what it's like to be born so gifted. Completely average, that's you, alright. You try your best to be sympathetic. Having rad powers must make things really hard. What? No way, it's fucking awesome! But as you've clearly seen, it can attract unwanted attention from pathetic individuals who aren't nearly as talented as themselves. Who are desperate to have some unbeatable psionics in their corner. To be honest, the Empire is no different. And it's not like the rebels are much better. Colin and I don't really care one way or the other. We're just here to off chumps and get money. We look out for ourselves first and foremost. But eventually, we'll be sent off planet to do the bidding of the Empress, just like everyone else. Okay, you can see why having no say in the matter kinda sucks. But isn't there opportunity to do cool shit in space too? Azdaja's face draws up in a wry expression. Yeah, with someone else calling all the shots. You keep walking. After what feels like hours, his scatter flashes again. We're here! He lets the wall have it with his eye lasers. With a resounding roar, it crumbles away. Aside from the spot he destroyed, the rest of the cave is intact. Moonlight spills into the space through the impromptu exit. It's over. We're stuck down there for so long that the game is ended. Meaning, your heart sinks. This was a disaster. He's definitely not going to want to be your friend after losing this competition he's so invested in. We're the last team standing, which makes us the winners. Heh. I knew it. That blue blood loser might have had a stroke of good luck, but she was no match for somebody of my station. My victory was a foregone conclusion from the start. Bringing you along was an excellent idea. Your recklessness really came in handy back there. He's thanking you, you realize. Or something close to it. Modestly, you assure him that it was no problem. The prince knows when to give credit where credit is due. Celebration is in order, I think, once we collect our prize. There's a prize? Fuck yeah! Duel Strippers offers an impressive cash reward to whoever wins. You'll get a cut as well, of course. Whoa. Money. This will be the first time you've laid your hands on the stuff since you crash-landed. Maybe you'll be able to finally purchase a warm meal. Or clothing that isn't from somebody else's closet. More important than money, though, is that you've proven you aren't a complete fuck-up. You've earned Azdaja's trust, and also his friendship. Oh yay. Victory. Oh yeah. Cool. Neat. Alright, well, good for us, I guess. Neat. That works. I guess that works. That's fine. Money in our eyes, of course. And Azdaja. Sure, he's fine. Bit self-centered, but that's fine. You know what, as far as assholes go, he's cool. That's nice. Well, that's nice. Cool. Anyway, see you in the next one then. where we are apparently revisiting someone we've already met. That'll be interesting. Okay, ta-ta!